entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you,
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers.
All right, Gray, you got a lot to say?
I mean, to me, I feel like Trump looked wild in that situation because Trump is known as the tough guy. He's known as the guy that gets things done, and like everybody's afraid of the bully. And then Zelensky refused to bend the knee. He was there going back and forth with Trump. So, I mean, I feel like Zelensky pulled Trump card. I mean, and he had to argue publicly. So it kind of brought down like who Trump is supposed to be.
Easy.
Yeah, Trump definitely has thug mannerisms, and it looked like Zelensky wasn't backing down. I think he had a lot to say, almost like, "Hey, man, you don't know how it is." You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just Trump being Trump, man. You know, Trump got a mouth on him, man, and Trump gonna give it to you. If Trump feels a certain way, he gonna tell you exactly how you feel. You're not gonna hold his tongue. So, but I like it though. Lets me know that we have a man in office. You feel me?
Yeah. I felt like Zelensky was testing Trump because Biden and Harris been letting him get away with everything, just freely giving him money funded and all that. And I think he came in with that same expectation and thought if he just pushed a little bit like he did Biden, that Trump was going to do the same thing. I mean, that's just natural. So he couldn't do it with Trump. Trump stood his ground. Even, you know, we, like you said, Trump got a mouth. We know it's probably the one thing I dislike about Trump is that he talks too much. But overall, he stood his ground as a man and as an authority figure. Like, no, this is done. So it didn't come out the cleanest, but I believe he did what he was supposed to do and showing the world that, hey, we're not going to be funding. We're not about to be funding everybody. Like, if y'all can't hold your own sovereignty, then y'all need to, like, I keep like get in line with Canada and be, you know, Canada be the 51st state, and then Ukraine could be the 52nd state. That's just how I'm feeling about it now. I'm tired of funding all these countries that try to keep their sovereignty and they can't do it on their own.
Yeah, I agree. I think Trump definitely came off a little harsh. Definitely came off masculine. Came off as not threatening, but, you know, stern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What y'all think about the aftermath, though? Because Trump then canceled the press conference. And then after that, the European countries said that they backing Zelensky completely. The UK said they have his back completely.
You know, I'm going to tell you as a man and as somebody who stands his ground a lot, I stand alone a lot. But at the same time, I benefit because I didn't give in. I didn't do the, wrong thing. I protected whoever, if it was my family, my business, whatever the interest was, I stood on it and protect if it's my own sanity. And that happens a lot. You got a lot of people, man, let me get $20. And I'm like, no. But man, we've been cool for this long. Come on, man, help me out. And I'm like, no. And guess what? They don't talk to me no more because they feel like, you know, I'm mean or I'm whatever, but I protected my own self. Like I'm not, you know, and then everybody, once you start doing that, like, and now everybody want to come. And I think that's what Trump is doing. He's trying to show the world we're done doing that, because if you do that for him, now everybody else wants a handout and they got to stop somewhere. So I think Europe is just being crybabies along with Zelensky, and hate the fact that there's a man in the room.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
I knew you was about to say something. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I want to interject and I want to say, but United States have been helping the countries for years. So is it time for us to stop helping these countries?
I don't think it's time to stop helping. I think it has to be more fair. I think that's really what Trump is saying. Like, it needs to be more fair. Like, go ahead and pass the minerals over here. Let's get these AI chips going. So that's the thing. Like, I felt like Trump was right for that. Like, hey, we've been helping y'all out. We throwing y'all billions. Y'all need to throw something back. Like, forget this deal. This deal is not indefinite. You know, whatever they signed in 93 or whatever year it was. Like, that's, I mean, you know, that person, 93 is what, 30 something years ago?
Well, yeah. And I know that they was trying to become a member of NATO, and they're not a member of NATO, and that's the main reason Russia was getting upset. But I heard Europe wants boots on ground. Do y'all think they stand a chance if they do boots on ground and go to war with Russia?
But why though?
To keep Ukraine.
I don't think, just give it back.
You feel like they should just give up?
I mean, I guess I can see if you go into war, whoever wins, if it's worth it, and whoever wins takes it. But
so
I can see that.
In Mexico right now, to come over here, take Mexico, take Texas, and take Louisiana, you'll just be like, hey, just give it up.
I made that example in the reverse when people were talking about Ukraine. I was like, imagine somebody taking Texas. That's what Russia is fighting about, because it was once Russia. But no, I do agree with you. Let them fight it out. I think it's dumb, but that is the ultimate way, because land is not stolen, it's conquered. So you got fight it out. Is it worth it? I think that's what I'm getting at. Is it worth it to have a whole war, or is it better to do what Trump is doing and negotiate a deal?
Well, Trump definitely gonna be the businessman. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's telling you, like, hey, I can negotiate the deal. Because a lot of people, you know, they make the jokes talking about Trump got all these deals with Putin and how they in the same bed. But Trump really, he said it. He was like, what do I look like dogging out Putin? And then go to him and like, hey, let's make a deal. It's not going to work. He's going to have to like butter up to him a little bit to get him in the mood to even want to talk. So I just think the whole world is in their feelings. They emotional, they mad, and that they want it to be us against them. And it's like the worst thing right now. Like, who really has the money to fight right now? You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I was going to add, war is very expensive. So I'm saying, like, it costs a lot of money to pay those troops. You got to pay for the food, supplies, ammunition. That stuff costs, man. It's very costly, man. So if you ain't ready to go to war, don't go to war, because it costs money, bro.
But it's going to drive up everything else. That's how we got a lot of the stuff we got today. Like, people don't even know that's how speed limits came about, because fuel and stuff end up going up. It was, you know, scarce at the time for the war, so they had to ration it out. Yeah, it's just a lot of bad things that come if we were to actually have a world war right now.
So
eggs being $10.
So do y'all feel like, because Russia been our enemy for so long, I know Trump is cool with him, but a lot of people, even Republicans, look at it like, well, we're not losing any American troops. We just spending money. We just send the equipment, and we're weakening Russia. Do you feel like that's a smart strategy?
No, because half the people that was saying that if they had an enemy, and you know what I'm trying to say, like if it was you and I'm giving easy money to come fight you. You be ready to fight me. It's not like I'm gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like I'm out of it. You gonna be looking at me like, yo, you funding this dude to come whoop my ass. I'm gonna whoop your ass too. That's what a world war is. Like, I don't know why people think that we gonna stay clean in this. It don't work like that. It might work like that in the hood, your workplace, or in your house, but it's not gonna work like that in the real world.
Yeah, I feel like with Russia, they just got too many soldiers. They got too many people that, like, it's just like, I'm at this point where I don't think Ukraine can win with the soldiers they got.
Nah.
Yeah.
And you see now they offering for outsiders to come fight.
Yeah, I saw that in the group chat.
I don't think that'll work.
Yeah, I don't either.
It'll just be people there for a paycheck.
Exactly.
Nope. Friendly fire and everything else. All right, let me see. So I thought this was important to play. I think I'm gonna play a little bit of it because everybody's been going back and forth about Ukraine.
Yeah.
And a comment that was made in the chat earlier, Nora, she was saying she was surprised like that liberals are back in the war.
Right.
And I came across this video and I wanted to play it. So I'm just adding this on to the show, but I think it's important.
All right.
Are saying about the liberals saying they stand with Ukraine. Do you guys realize that Ukraine does not stand with your ideologies? Number one, it's illegal to go into a gay marriage in Ukraine. Gay marriage is not legal. Ukraine solely believes that marriage is only between a man and a woman. You want to know what else is true for Ukraine? Right now, as we speak, there are men getting kidnapped off of their streets, like literally just walking their dogs or walking home from work, and they are being snatched up and thrown into a van as they are screaming for their lives because they don't want to go fight in war that they'll lose. They have no say in where they're going. They are getting literally snatched off the street, just tracked down and snatched, not like a normal recruitment, okay? And they have no bodily autonomy to make that choice for themselves. Isn't that something you guys preach about? Wouldn't kidnapping someone off of the street to go fight in a war they don't want to fight in because they want peace, wouldn't that be dictatorship? Wouldn't that be lack of bodily autonomy, a lack of choice, and a little bit sociopathic? And you want to know what else is true for Ukraine right now? You want to know what else? Is that their soldiers in interviews are saying they don't want to fight anymore. They're tired, they're exhausted, and they want peace. They want the war to end, whether they win or lose. Their words, not mine. Whether they win or lose, they want the war to end. So because you are so against Trump and anything he does or says, you are disregarding and disrespecting the people actually on the front lines dying to save their country because they don't want to do it anymore. And Zelensky is just blatantly ignoring them by continuing this war and not going for peace. You want to know something, guys? Your entitlement is astounding to me. You will stand with any other country that is not America, and it's absolutely insane. Ukraine is not a part of NATO, okay? So because we made a verbal agreement 30 years ago based on an unrelated situation does not mean we have to keep going into trillions of dollars in debt for a country that we are not in NATO with. The agreement we made back in the 1990s was not binding law. It was an agreement, yes, but it was not binding. America can absolutely pull out if they deem fit. That is how it works. And guess what? $40 trillion in debt, and we are just dishing out billions when we can't even afford that for our own people is irresponsible spending. And apparently Congress of 2023 felt the same way when they continuously blocked aid.
Went on a lot longer, but that said a lot to me. What you think, Gray?
I feel like she's trying to nitpick at what the Democratic Party stands for rather than like, this isn't necessarily about Ukraine. This is about Russia. America sees Russia and Putin as a dictator. So when they fund this war, they're not saying, oh, well, we have the same ideology as Ukraine or Ukraine is our best friend. It's that Russia is our enemy. And I feel like that's where she was lost in that.
Easy.
Yeah, what I got from that, it just sounds like liberals are contradicting themselves, because pretty much is what she says. What I got out of that, you know what I'm saying? Like she was talking about, gay marriage and stuff like that, and the different ideologies that go along with being liberal. Almost like she's pretty much attacking. You know what I'm saying? And most of the liberals are Democrats, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's pretty much attacking Democrats, pretty much.
Yeah. I agree. I was having this talk with somebody a day or two ago. I don't know if y'all remember, because this conflict has been, what's it, like year 3 or 4 we in this? When it was really big. I don't know if y'all remember CNN and like NBC, the liberal networks were literally pushing women being oppressed, and like the reason why they have so much hate against Russia in a sense is because they were pushing propaganda that Russia was going to take over Ukraine and put all the women back in bondage and oppress them. I don't know if you remember that. It was all like it was always new. It was the same thing as like what they do with the black community, showing police shootings. They were just showing women getting unalived or things happening with the children. It was a lot of propaganda years ago when this first started to get America on the side of Ukraine for this war. And I'm telling people, like, people don't understand how corrupt Ukraine is. And even Zelensky himself, he come in there and act like a little boy, but when he's in Ukraine, dude's a little thug. A lot of people don't know that. Like, they just think Ukraine is this, people see things as black and white. They don't see the gray area. And Ukraine is not innocent.
I can see what you're saying. And I know a lot of conservatives and MAGA people think Hunter Biden got paid by them. So that's another reason that they don't like them. And I've also heard people try to say that they're Nazis or whatever. So it's been a lot of crazy information put on them. But what I always say is that America's going to always have issues with Russia, China, and Iran. So if there's any possible way to make them upset or hurt them anyway, whether it's financially, like their country, they're going to do it.
Why do you think that is?
That's the people who they feel like are dictators and don't run the country the way that they want them to, and North Korea too, and that they pretty much don't bend the knee to America. So like with China, they're the second richest country in the world. So that's our biggest competition.
Yeah.
Then Russia's number 3 and they work with China. So they're our biggest competition for us to stay the best in the world. So even if they did exactly what we wanted them to do and do American culture, we still try to find an issue with them just because we want to be number 1.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.